Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Hey, Scotty. How's it going? Sorry I missed your radio pick yesterday. I refunded you for that. But if you want to pick now, I'll give it to you for free. All right. Back to work. Auto tiling as always. All right, we made some good progress yesterday. I tried to close Sprite again before the stream, and it caused another crazy, weird display disaster. The kind that, like, broke my OBS last time, or yesterday. It was fine from the VOD's standpoint, so I guess it was just on my end, but it makes me hesitant to close Sprite during a stream. So I need to keep that in mind. Be more careful about that sort of thing. Hey, Nix. How's it going? Happy Thursday. All right, where are we at? We made some progress. I feel like I rolled a couple things back just before we ended, just to keep things stable. So I don't quite know where we're at. This all seems good. So we fixed the thing we were working on yesterday. This is a pretty big improvement. You can actually see the top. So the deck above is actually casting an outline down onto the wall below, which is great. That's exactly what we want. Oh, that's a weird thing. There's a problem there, but let's not worry about that right now. Could be better, could be worse. These are true things. We're actually looking pretty good. I'm not quite sure. Well, there's a problem there, but I don't know if we can fix that. And that's also not an outline specific problem. We're looking pretty good though. Honestly, I think maybe our highest priority is some cutaway stuff now, but I did say in the video details we'll be working on the auto tiler, so we should try to do that if possible. I thought there was more to do, but I'm like struggling to find an issue at the moment. That just means I'm not testing thoroughly enough, probably. Oh, there's something weird happening over here. On the right side. What is that? That's the bulk looking down. Oh, there's a missing corner. Wait. There's a bunch of weird stuff happening here. Okay, well, here's an area. Here's an area we can work on. There's a bunch of stuff happening near the right side cutout that is wrong. Hey, Sapphire Starship. Happy Thursday. All right, I see at least 3 things wrong. One is that the deck is not casting an outline below, which is a cutaway thing. The other is that we're missing a corner piece. And the wall is casting an outline below when it shouldn't. So let's deal with that one first. So why is that wall doing that? Or when shouldn't it? It has something to do. I need to start consulting the cutaways because that will matter, is what I need to do. Yeah, we have to be cutaway aware when we're doing these outlining. Oh, I don't have any lights on. That's better. All right, so the bulk should be getting rid of the outline in the case of the down and to the left. Its diagonal neighbor is being cut away. Maybe we're being cut away. No. We care about its either adjacent or its diagonal neighbor, and I'm not quite sure which. I think diagonal is what we're looking at. So if we've got a diagonal neighbor... Okay, I think I understand how to phrase that. All right, so we're missing this because this is returning false. And this is also returning false. So I guess the equivalent thing of this. So we're looking at... Okay, we're looking at our adjacent deck plate. So what we also then want to say is... we want to add an OR here. We could say OR, not cutaways, whole key dot xyz plus vector 3i dot y. Actually, what we want to do is we want to say not cutaways, but has cutaway dot extents full deck. I think this will do it. Let's see if we can get an easy win. All right, I'm going to change the radio here in a second. I'll wait till the song is over. All right, let's test that. Oop, already broke something. What? Oh, it's not, it's positive. So if there's no hole or there's a cutaway. This also feels wrong. Okay, well, I repaired that regression. But let's see if we're actually getting the behavior we want to see here. So let's see what happens when we do a cutaway. How do I get this to cut away? Oh, like that, right? Oh, got it. Okay, that's one down. Two more here. There's that little jut in the middle that I want to fix. That doesn't have an outline either, and I don't know if there's an easy way to repair that. But that's not what we're focused on right now. I'd love to be done with the auto tiling rules this week. I'd love to finish it up. That'd be great. All right, so we have a corner and we have a lower section. Let's deal with that, the bottom part. So in this case, so we're handling it on the bottom level, but not the middle level. So you'll notice the bottom outline on the very bottom level, but the middle level is missing that. And the difference between those is not totally apparent, but we'll get it. We'll get there. Hey, how's it going, A the ant? Oh my god, what is this, Christmas music or something? Might as well be. Alright, here we go. Switch it over to some James Flamestar. Hey, you just had to deal with a finger prick. Those are weirdly annoying, aren't they? I don't love the spring-loaded ones. Yeah, this is better. How are you doing otherwise? Good. Pretty sick though. Oh, sorry to hear that. Were you talking about that yesterday? Were you supposed to be traveling but you can't because you're sick? Or was that someone else? It's definitely the season. We're beginning the 6th season. The like change of weather and everyone just starts getting ill. I gotta go get my various boosters. I think I'm gonna do that next week. And I know that's going to make me sick because it always does. You did travel? Oh, you did travel and you're sick, so you like can't go to the event that you were going to? Like it was like a wedding maybe? Sorry. My memory is not amazing. I have approximate knowledge of many things, as that one Adventure Time character said. Yeah, you got sick when you arrived. Unfortunate. You're back home now? Well, that's good at least. Hey, Magoo. Are you done with your OS yet? You got Godot working in it? All right, so what do we think? So we fixed this. So actually what we should do is we should port this change over to the other side for sure. First, let's do that. Let's reflect this change over. Anyone playing any good games lately? I've been playing RV There Yet with some friends. That's been fun. I have a new little building project in a Valheim server that I'm in. That's been fun. Gotta go now. Just want to pop by. Thanks for saying hi. Hope you feel better soon. I really want to start playing Arc Raiders, which is like the new hotness. I'll probably end up mostly be playing that solo. But I'm trying to like disabuse myself of that. I've been like watching people on stream play it. Trying to talk myself out of playing this game. I know it'd be a lot. But I don't know. Something about it is drawing me in. Even though I'm not a big fan of like PvP and proximity voice chat and all that stuff. I don't know. There's something super appealing about this kind of scavenger sci-fi PvPvE thing. I'm not really an extraction shooter player either, but having a hard time resisting. So who knows? Maybe I'll be playing it this weekend. Probably not like on stream, but you know what I mean. I reflected that correctly. So let's go up here and try to identify the problem here. It's all the way up here. This is becoming a lot, and this is what we have to modify to fix this other thing. So that's unfortunate. I feel sometimes it's nice to get together with the boys and wipe some groups, let it be zombies or scrubs. Yeah, I probably wouldn't play a lot like that. My group, I have a group that I play a lot of games with. Usually just 3 of us, so this sort of game is good for us in that sense. But right now we're playing Peak a lot, the mountain climbing game Peak, and we just started RV There Yet, which is really good, like RV, like recreational vehicle, RV There Yet. That's really fun. Those are more co-op experiences, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of drawn to it. I played the Cycle Frontier, which was kind of the last like one of these kinds of games. That got shut down, but I really enjoyed the vibes of that game. You know, that game had a lot of problems. The PvE was pretty light, and there were rampant cheating. There's a lot of cheating. So it wasn't that fun, but man, it was a cool experience. All right, so I think the problem is coming down here. I think we're doing these hull checks. And I think the thing is, I think a hull check is the same thing as a cutaway check. So I think whenever we do one of these hull checks, I really don't want to nest this much. This is starting to get out of control. Is there a way to do this better? It should be indented. There we go. I feel like this should be like this. I know I keep going back and forth on this. If this or this. Yeah, it's confusing. I think I prefer this to this. This is a lot more explicit about like
maximum warp.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I think getting an indentation back is good, but also bad. Why did the VBE not work, Magoo? Yeah. Thanks for the hydrate and all the voiceover lines. I need to get some more stuff like that. I've decided I'm going to start using my Thursday co-working group as like an opportunity to like, it's supposed to be like a business and marketing like co-working group as distinct from like just general dev. I feel like I'm going to try to use that time as dedicated time to do things I don't want to do business-wise, like going over the YouTube contract for like partner, going, you know, maybe working on the stream, like the quality of channel point rewards and stuff. Like, it's so easy to just be like, well, I could work on the game. I should be working on the game. It's like, there's a lot of ancillary tasks that are not fun. And I was just thinking about those, that I need some dedicated time to like actually tackle those things. I think I'm going to make it this meetup that I have on Thursdays. Because, yeah, there's more stuff I want to do. I want to add more channel point rewards. I need to get the monetization up on the YouTube channel to some extent. Start seeing what that looks like. All right, so what I think I need to do is anytime I do this hull containment check thing, I need to do a parallel check of the cutaway. So it's like, and it's whatever. So if it's a bulk Z, then it's like if we have a bulk cutaway or a full cutaway, then actually, I don't know. Maybe any cutaway is determinate here. Huh? Yeah, any. So here I would say this or cutaways. Hey, DIGITAL, how's it going? Whole-key.xyz plus vector3i dot z dot has any. Has any is a little questionable here. This line is going to bite me in the butt later, but I'm going to leave it in because otherwise I have to say what I want. Okay, now I'm confused again about my indentation. Nix, you just finished working on your VRM character. You made her some new makeup, New Year's. Now it's time to work on your crappy car. Make it more run down and apocalyptic. Add some greebles. I saw your station wagon thing. That's cool. It's the stuff you're talking about reminds me of like Pacific Drive, which I haven't played yet, but I kind of want to. Sapphire, you're focusing on anything today, or focusing on anything today is going to be a struggle. You didn't get much sleep at all last night. And you just ate, feeling sluggish. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Then maybe you're not meant to be doing anything right now. So I need to say this. So we've got this or this, and it's this and this, or this and this. It's this and this, or this and this, or this, or this. Yeah, I'm getting mixed up here by the way I'm doing this. What if we did up back? What if we went back to like this model? So it's this or this, this and this, this and this, this and this, or this and this. Or always allkey.xyz. Nick's Pacific Drive is a reason why you chose the Humble Station Wagon. You have tons of fun with that game. I want to try it. Definitely want to try it. That's what I'm trying to steer myself towards. And I'm talking about like Arc Raiders. I'm like, man, I could just play more single player games. I don't have this intrinsic drive to like compete against other players. I really actually dislike that sort of thing. I don't know. There's something going on with that game that I want to participate. Oh, it's not just plus vector 3i.z. It's plus vector 3i.yz. So this and this. Hold on a second. So it's this and this, or so many parentheses. This and this, or this. This is such a nightmare. What I've crafted here. But we'll see if it works. Nice. Yeah, station wagons are definitely, you know, the apocalyptic car vehicle of choice. Your station wagon looks nice. You're on your way. All right. Did I do anything successful here? Well, I haven't broken anything. That's a huge. Making a change like this and not breaking anything is nice. Now let's see what I got going on here, though. Once I get the cutaway. Okay, so no change. So I've got no change. Was that supposed to be an and? I don't think so. So we're eliminating this. We're eliminating this outline because we want to keep the outline because there's nothing below it. We're getting rid of it for some reason. Probably because I actually don't understand quite what's going on there. I think it's supposed to be or. What did I do down here? No, it's or. It's not if the hull is not contained or there is a cutaway. This is weird. Nanigans, you're not too bad. You're tired. Really late night getting the project you've been working on for your day job wrapped up, but it's pretty much finished and out the door. Nice, nice. And you're expecting the rest of your year to slow down and have a bunch of time booked off as well. That's great. Yeah, I've definitely tried slowing down on my day job. So I was like, at first I was like, I'll just work some extra hours and get this done. And then I'm like, it's never going to be, there'll always just be something else in the queue. And if I just normalize that, always pushing myself to like the max number of hours, that'll just become the new expectation. That'll become the new baseline. And I'm like, that can't be my baseline. I think you could do some great models, Sapphire Starship, even without much experience. I mean, just look at the low poly craze that like everything is. Like I think Valheim is one of the most beautiful games that I'm currently playing, and they're doing that all with lighting. Those models and the textures are so low poly and so low res respectively, but they do so much with post processing. It turns the game, it's beautiful. Valheim is a beautiful game full of incredibly jank art assets. So I actually think it's never been easier to make some kind of passable 3D art thing. That said, I'm not doing it personally, but I have some kind of innate repulsion to having to do that work. I don't know why. I'd probably be fine with it if I actually properly took the time to learn it. But I picked a direction and I'm sticking with it. Burnout sucks. You need to take care of yourself. Yeah, exactly. It's not even just burn out. It's almost like burn in. Like it just becomes part of you, of like what. Yeah, it's complicated for sure. Nix, it's not too hard to make a low poly car. You look up blueprints of a car. All you have to do is line up the different sides and create the parts with an orthographic camera and then connect the parts together. Yeah, that sounds right. I think I presume inorganic stuff like cars and stuff are probably on the, especially if you're rendering an older car back when everything was much sharper, which was a superior way of doing things probably. Not from a safety standpoint, obviously, but yeah, you can probably make a car pretty easily. I assume most of the difficulty comes in once you start trying to do more organic shapes. Loved Valheim, great co-op game. Yeah, I still play it. Me and my group still plays it. We usually kind of go into a dormant state in between major content releases, and then we all come back. But we've had a dedicated server running for almost 3 years. And it's so cool to go around there and see all the stuff that we've done and like revisit old bases and everything. Yeah. I have some construction projects in mind that are preparing for the last big, I can't say expansion, but the last big content drop, which is like the far north. I'm like setting up a kind of like launch pad, stockpiling stuff. I love getting the urge to like go build something in that game. It's a lot of fun. I've built a lot of different stuff with a lot of different materials. I really enjoy that. Part of the reason you think you're going with a cell shader is because you think it will help you get away with a lot with the models. Yeah, it probably will help you more getting away with texturing and lighting stuff. But yeah, it should help. Organic stuff is harder, Nick says. You need to use a drawing tablet and sculpt for those, at least, like high poly stuff. Shaders and textures are a huge part to make stuff look great, especially with low poly. Yeah, I think the lighting is big. I think the kind of whatever kind of global lighting stuff you've got going on is really huge. Because that's the lighting is really what does it for Valheim. It ties it all together, you know? Like a rug. Alright, what am I doing? I'm avoiding confronting this difficult problem is what I'm doing. So I think we're pretty much always passing through this for some reason. If mass contains and mass contains. Oh, we're not even getting to this branch. I see, I see, I see. I see. I'm working in the wrong branch here. Okay, so we need to do something like this. Except what we need to do is we need to say if we're both being contained here, we still want to draw the outline. We can put that back out like that. All right, so I think we're on this branch, and I think we're just straight up passing through. And so I need another and here. So if they're both contained, and there needs to be some kind of surface below us that we can draw into. So what we want to do is we want to say, and hulls contains key. Hull key. Dot XYZ. We want hull key with Z equals hull key dot XYZ plus 1. W equals int tile layers bulk Y. Where am I currently? Deck Y. Yep, bulk Y. Oh, bulk key dot Z. What's going on here? No, not contains value, contains key. I swear I typed that in. So we want to make sure that this is true, and we want to make sure that this is true, that there's a surface below us that will work. All right, let's try that. See what happens here. We're still going to have some kind of corner problem that we have to code in. But that's okay. Let's see what happens now that we cut this out. Hey, we did it. Okay, we're missing a corner piece though. All right, so I got to project that, or I got to reflect that onto the other side. So the other side behaves the same way. Maybe that should be an and here. This. If there isn't a hull and we're not cutting it away. This should be an and, huh? No, I guess this is an or because we're saying we can handle it if there isn't a hull here or if it's being cut away. Yeah, that's fine. That's correct. All right, well, let's copy this over to the other side. We go. Now you're known to your friends, the OS dev. You have to deal with their Android corrupted problem. Are you expected to just fix their phone's operating system? I don't know what I prefer here. If I prefer this or if I prefer like this. So what's going on right now? There we go. Not quite sure how I want to format this. It's getting complicated. All right, but what I do need to do is I need to swap the axes here if there are any. This should be X. This should be X. This should be X. That should be it. Hey, Obsidian Black. Are my starships FTLing all over the place yet? Not quite, not quite. Right now we're just trying to get them to FTL in one place. How's it going? Hey, Rain and Journey. Happy Thursday. Alright, so now we got a corner case to deal with. Now that I confirm that I didn't mess up any of this edgewise stuff here. That's weird. Oh, are we actually at the edge? Yeah. There's some weird stuff that happens when you're at the actual edge of the buildable area. I'm gonna tackle that as its own. That's its own problem. Alright, that outline is looking good. We are just missing that one corner. Missing one corner piece here. So what do we want to say there? I want to say something. So that's its negative. That's its negative horizontal and positive vertical corner. And we need that one little dot. We need one little dot to close up that corner. 1 pixel. 1 pixel only, please. Okay. It's so annoying that I'm doing all of this for an overlay. Well, I guess it'll apply to all overlays, but the select overlay is not, it's not something you're going to see very often. Starship, you've been looking through a list of different outlining techniques. It looks like you're going to be implementing some sort of edge detection to get the look you think you're going for. Also means you're probably going to be moving off of visual shaders and learn the shader code. You could also just use the stencil buffer, probably, if you're in the Godot. You could kind of just take advantage of the new engine feature, depending on exactly what you had in mind. There's some nice built-in functionality to that. If you just set the shader material on your mesh to be a stencil thing. I tried it. I couldn't get it to work in my jam game, but I think that's because I wasn't in control of how the hierarchy of the imported models, and there was like these disruptive elements in it that was making it really hard. I think I would have needed to kind of reorganize everything. But it looked really helpful from the limited amount that I was messing around with it. That's the new stuff in Godot 4.5, the new stencil buffer. Random Journey, you feel like this week you're just moving in slow motion. The world around you is going normal speed. But you're getting work done. You haven't done any coding, but you've been brainstorming different systems for cooking in game. Ooh. You want more than just to combine X ingredients and it makes X dishes. You think you settled on something that will work? Oh, that's fun. Yeah, cooking systems are cool. But yeah, I feel it. I've also been kind of going a bit slow this week. I have not been as productive as I would hope. But just trying to be sustainable, you know, not maximize productivity in the short term. You want to maximize it in the long term. Okay, so how are we going to handle this corner? Get X tile overlay. Oh, let's do the Y first because that's what I've been testing. So what we want is the negative X, positive Y. Okay, I had something here and I got rid of it. And now we need to add it back, so joy. It's a marathon, not a sprint, unless it's a jam. Exactly. All right, so what do we need to do to get this corner piece working? So it needs to be this, and some additional requirement needs to be met. What is that additional requirement? The additional requirement is essentially... Well, hold on now. Hold on. We shouldn't actually ever be hitting this. Oh, no, we are. Of course we are. Of course we are. So obviously the simplest thing would be to simulate our two neighbors and do a coordination of that to see what they're doing. But that's kind of annoying. Yeah, I've never been a fan of the visual shader graph stuff or any kind of graph-like stuff like that. I prefer to just see the code. I don't like those. I don't like seeing all the wires connecting this thing to that thing to that thing. Yeah, I don't like that stuff. I actually prefer the code. Just show me the code. I'm not great with shaders, but like I've used my fair share of like compute shaders and stuff. I can figure it out eventually. Mr. Magoo has burst into song. All right, so what we want to do... We want to check the... So the easiest thing to do is to say, we want to know that there's a hull there that we can cast onto. So what we should say, firstly, is we should say, and hulls dot contains key hull key with y equals hull key. Actually, no, yeah, this is fine. With y equals hull key dot y minus 1, z equals hull key dot z plus 1, w equals Mr. Magoo cheering with 29 bits. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. I would like to get some like bit effects going, like sound effects and stuff. I would need to write some code for StreamerBot apparently to do that. Or I would need to get Two Nerdy Nerds to give me whatever their code is. They have it. They do fun stuff with that. I haven't set anything up like that, but I really appreciate it. Thank you for the bits. Nanigans, you like the node system for shader specifically because you can visually see how things compose together and it's easier to debug. Similar for the Pixie Editor graphics program. So when you say the node system, do you just mean like the scene tree or is there like a shader graph you're talking about? Nanigans, from your experience programming for decades, if you have a way to make visual things using visual tools, it's often more efficient than trying to code it. I think for most people, most of the time, that's probably true. But I have never been like a big visual editor person. I'm also not a great programmer, but for some reason, the visual editor stuff has not been helpful to me. I much prefer to just see the logical progression of what should be happening, like the transforms. But yeah. What's wrong with what I'm writing so far here? And if this... Oh, duh. I don't think we need to ask about a cutaway for our own layer. Maybe we do, though. I'm going to try this. I'm going to see if this is sufficient by itself. 100 upvotes for visual tools for visual things. Thanks, Bart Lane. Just realized, fellow Star Trek viewer, you just realized.
Your logic was impeccable, Captain.
Shader graph? Okay. You don't like using that sort of stuff for normal code, though? It's just extra clicks to get the same result and usually less flexible. Yeah, I see. I think it breaks down. I know there's a lot of people that just use like blueprints, which is, I guess, like the shader graph for like Unreal. And I think that's fine because I think a lot of the people that go to Unreal to do development are like visual people. But still, I've never liked the low code, no code, quote unquote solutions. Okay, so I broke this a little bit. But does it fix the case that we're actually testing? It probably does, because it seems to be drawing a corner in almost every case. So probably just incidentally fixes our problem. Nope. It's still not drawing the corner piece in that circumstance. Okay. That's interesting. That said, it's more accessible and lowers the barrier to entry. A couple of your kids are getting to program, making things in Scratch. Oh yeah, I think Scratch is cool. I'm not saying these things aren't good. I'm saying I don't like them. So those are very different things. I'm very supportive of the idea that a thing can be good and I don't like it, or a thing can be bad and I do like it. I'm not like a Reddit warrior who, demands that those things be, the same. All right, so that's so great. So we're drawing corner pieces literally like everywhere except where we want to. So that's fun. So what do I actually want to say here? I want to say you can skip this if we're getting rid of those and there is something here. And it needs to be selected. We don't necessarily need to be selected, but that does need to be selected, I think. Yeah, okay. So we need to say... I think we need to say this. And... what is this even? Mask dot contains hull key with y equals hull key dot y. Oh, should this be... wait a second. So if this is the y tile, we should actually be looking at -x. I see. I did that a little wrong. That explains what was happening there a little bit. This should be x, not y. Key.xyz. We also don't need this W thing, so we actually don't need to say the width. Well, we kind of do. So we can say this instead. We can say minus vector3i dot x plus vector3i dot z. Scratch is so cute. I should like more cute things. Okay. I'll work on that. Nanigans. You love that there's all kinds of different tools and ways of doing things that help make it so people who have different strengths and experience can still get things done. Yeah, exactly. That's what it should be. There should always be more for that sort of thing. Nix, a week ago, a week ago-ish, your banking app's own separate authenticator app updated and broke for everyone that was using Android 16, which made you delete your authenticator app to try to fix it by reinstalling it. Except your bank is so secure, you have to receive a QR code by mail physically to activate back the authenticator app so you can allow any online payment, online transaction. Anyway, today your mail finally arrived, so you have access to money again. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. Is Android 16 not like the newest one? That's crazy that they weren't ready for that. The QR code is only one password, by the way. You still need to know 4 other separate codes as well, and you can't copy and paste into the app either. That's so crazy. There's a point at which that level of security is like not helpful, in my opinion. All right, let's see what this looks like now. It came out 4 months ago. The app was working perfectly. They just decided to break it. That level of security should only be for like vaults of gold. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Oh, okay, so the general case is still bad, but let's see if we actually fix the specific case that we were trying to resolve. I'm gonna guess the answer is no. Am I even testing the right face? I don't even know. Okay, oh no, we fixed it. We fixed it. Okay, so we're getting the corner where we want. The problem is we're also getting it everywhere else. Which doesn't really make any sense. I think I'm being a little too harsh with the requirements here. So if we've got this and this mask is contained. Yeah, okay. So it's this and this. Well, technically it's like this and this and this. Or, yeah, there we go. Well, sort of. Minus vector3i dot x, vector3i dot z. Well, we didn't need that there. There we go. I think that'll do. Let's give that a try. Hey, Arnio. Not allowing pasting into form fields is a crime against humanity. Truly, truly. How's it going, Arnio? Nanigans, even though you like using shader graph and things like that, on the other end of the spectrum, you don't use much of engine UI to build things in your game. You more so use Godot as a library. Yeah, exactly. I don't use engine UI a lot either. I'm kind of concerned. I need to get into more digital audio stuff. And the program I want to play, most of the programs are written a lot of them are written as like either trackers or like shader graph style things. Like a lot of them are written as graphs. And one I really want to try, which is for creating like ambient soundscapes, is very much graph-like. So we'll see. I'll either bounce off of it or I'll really enjoy it. I kind of want to try that programmatic one that's become a little more popular lately. Oh Lord, how did we break this? Okay, we very thoroughly started breaking things again. That's annoying. At least we know what this means when it happens now. All right, let's try to roll that back. Figure out what I did here. Oh. I'm really unhappy with the way I'm indenting this. In parentheses, the way I'm grouping this is like displeasing. I'll come up with a better way later, but I'm not gonna work on it now. I would just like to repair this. Okay, so we repaired that. No corners. Let's see if we get the corner in the one spot we actually want it. If so, that's a big win. Don't worry about that. One thing we really need to work on is the dynamic build area size. Okay, I got it. We got it. We got it. Oh, almost. Not quite. Right here. Right here, there's something. Oh, man. Can I do this without referencing the other two? That's a problem. That's a problem for sure. Okay, I see one more issue, which is that top deck is drawing corner pieces for the deck below it. That is not correct. Man, fixing autotiling rules feels like, you know when you're trying to like push air bubbles out of like a screen protector or something? That's like what this feels like. The Paiwan. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, like the name. How's it going? All right, so we need to get rid of that little corner dot. Pi 1. Ah, I see, not Pi 1. Okay, Pi 1. All right, you got it. How's it going, Mr. Streamer Man? It's going okay. We're working on the autotiler for our little block editor tool here, which is part of our FTL-like we're making. We're working on the autotiling rules specifically for the overlay. Yeah, so these little tiny white dots on the bottom left corners of the top deck are a problem. And they're showing up because it's meeting the requirements, but and I really don't want to have this try to do the calculation for the neighboring tiles. That actually might not be that hard to do if I wrap these conditionals in a function again. That would make this pretty easy, because then we could just say, pretend you're this neighboring tile. Is there another way to express that, though, that's simpler? Is there, like, something else I could check for? Because right now the problem is the conditional presumes a little bit too much. P1. Though the Y that you've put after the P is definitely confusing that pronunciation. P1. Okay. I'll try to remember that. Gotta go. Take it easy, Magoo. Isometric FTL. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. I get it. Y can also be pronounced like an E. It's not unheard of. Yeah, we're working on like an isometric style FTL-like. It's very low res. It's all pixel art. So it's like a 3D ship design. So it's 3D as in like stacked. So there's like multiple decks. But the rendering presentation is entirely 2D. So we have an auto-tiling system and a bunch of other systems that assist with that are kind of crazy. And so we're working on refining the rules for those systems. Multiple floor levels, exactly, P1. Are you a McLaren fan? Sounds whack, but doable. That's how I would summarize it as well. Is there going to be controls for switching the focused floor? Yeah, right now, it's hard-coded. Here, I can show you. Right now, it's hard-coded, where you kind of use the scroll wheel to lock into a particular floor. So I can build a floor here, and then go down, build another floor. Build some number of floors. And so now I'm on the lower floor, and I can just scroll back up to the higher floors. Build rooms. There's a compartmentalization system that can tell where the rooms are. Oh, I butchered this by doing that at the edge of the screen. Let me fix that real quick here. We get some weird behavior if we build right up to the edge of the screen. Yeah, you can see this is no longer considered an interior space. So we have a cutaway system, we have a compartmentalization system, we have the auto tiler that handles a lot of stuff. We're working on the auto tiling for the overlays, like these selection overlays and stuff. It's kind of what we're working on right now. I really don't like what it does with that second story. Yeah, this is kind of the stuff we're working on. So we're seeing a problem. Are we only seeing the problem on... Is it only on the top deck? Yes, it's only on the top deck. All right, how do we handle that? Something looks better than before, Arneo. Yeah, we fixed a lot of the problems. We've made some major progress on the overlay in the last couple days. We're dealing with one little problem with the corners on the top. And I'm thinking of what the conditional is that actually lets us know not to do this. What's the difference between these two cases? Obviously, the difference is that it's right, or it's horizontal adjacent neighbor and it's vertical adjacent neighbor. The only real difference is whether they are rendering their outline. The problem is, I can't really directly look that up. The best I could do would be to do the check for them, but I would love to come up with a reasoning. I'd love to come up with a different reasoning that's simpler and doesn't require the tile to look at multiple neighbors. That might be just what we do. That might be the easiest way to do it. It's not like the auto tiling is a particularly complicated or expensive thing that we're doing. It's really cheap, actually. So But if each corner piece needs to look at 3 pieces instead of 1 piece, that is significant. So let's see if we can fix that up. Nix, you think it looks nice, but when you're cutting into the layered cake, you think having the individual levels separately highlighted looks a bit weird? But that could be due to no textures yet. Well, this is also a very arbitrary... You're almost never going to see this. Like, this will almost never be your view. This is like a trick I'm doing. So, I'm kind of overdoing it a little. But yeah, you're never going to see anything like this. Normally, if you're playing, you're going to see something a lot more like this. This is more likely what you would be seeing. This sort of situation. Something like this. Some kind of terraced away look when you're playing the game. I'm like tricking the... I'm currently tricking the cutaway system by scrolling down below the lowest level, which is causing it to switch to a backup. And like you'd only ever see this if you very particularly set this up in edit mode. So I think I might be overdoing it. But yeah, I guess what we should do is we should see what kind of weird stuff we see when we do highlight in here. We might see something more obvious and more problematic. Yeah, I already see some obvious and problematic things here. Like what the heck is happening in the middle there? That's kind of rough. Something happened to this cutaway system recently. We shouldn't see this. It shouldn't step up and then start stepping over. It should only step over. Yeah, like this. I don't know why when I select here it does that. Very strange. I've kind of avoided tackling the cutaway system because I kind of want to spin it off into its own system. Right now it's just part of the tile system. So I don't exactly want to worry about that at the moment. I want to go back to this case that we were testing. I want to fix this corner thing first. So like this. Oh, that's not right either. Oh, no. That is right. That is right. Because that's a solid wall. Okay. Good. Good. Okay, these corner pieces are... It's the little corner dots. That's all I really care about right now. Yeah, the lack of shading of any kind of lighting or texturing is definitely making it confusing to look at. That's probably it. The autotiler is literally nothing but edge cases and corner cases, although technically we're dealing with a corner case right now, not an edge case. Arnios, if you're playing, you're going to see the upper layers cut away even if there's a roof, only if you're trying to look in a room. So if you're just out here on the surface, you'll just see the surface. But I want to switch to a raycast input system. It's not a real raycast, it would just fake it. But I would like you to be able to scroll in and through. Right now, your scroll just moves you down. It's just hard-coded to move you down a layer. But I would like it to cast a ray and then scroll you into the ship. So if you scroll down a level, yeah, you would now see, if you're looking in this room, you're not going to see the roof that covers that room. And if you keep scrolling down, it will start to terrace away. It should do it immediately. It's currently not. Okay, yeah, like if I do this, it should work. So like you can see, so it's progressively scaling more and more. So you should, part of the reason why I wanted to do it this way is I did want you to still be able to see the roof. I wanted to cut away only as much as necessary. Plus a little more. Plus a little bit more. I thought the terraced cutaway was a nice touch. We tried a bunch of different approaches. We tried an inward terrace, like an overhang. That looked weird. It was cool, but it looked weird. So we've settled on this as our cutaway model. And I'm pretty pleased with this. it definitely struggles in certain cases. Like if you have a room that's fully enclosed inside another room, it freaks out a little bit. So we have to figure out that sort of thing, but it's not exactly my concern at the moment. So let's get rid of these dividers so I can more easily look at our specific case that we're trying to handle, which is this. Because, yeah, this all looks fine here. It only looks weird when we do something strange like this, which is not going to be normally allowed. But I still want to handle it because it could come up in the editor tool or sometime in the future. So as long as it's not causing negative behavior in the normal context, I would still like to solve this weird corner case. All right, so the only difference between the real corner and the erroneous corner is the state of its neighbors. It's adjacent neighbors, not its diagonal neighbors. So what it's doing is it's only checking the diagonal, not the like crosswise adjacent ones, the horizontal adjacent and the vertical adjacent. And it kind of needs to do that. But I would like to come up with a solution that doesn't involve that. Nix, thanks for the hydrate. Nix, you got a date for your arm surgery? It's in 2 weeks. Nice. That's gonna be good. I mean, I know you're gonna be out of commission for a while, but you know, I think that's a worthwhile sacrifice to, you know, get a permanent fix. Hopefully, what will be a permanent fix. Get those cyborg stats. They haven't offered you any accessories, right? Like shoulder accessories, like shoulder-mounted guided missiles or something. Shoulder-mounted laser sight, like Terminator style. Not Terminator, Predator style shoulder-mounted laser. That would be pretty good. I don't know what kind of accessories they're offering. You now feel okay with skipping out on so many months of work? Yeah, I think it's got to be for a good thing. You know what they say, pain delayed is pain, or pain deferred is pain multiplied, or something like that. It's almost always better to just get it out of the way when it comes to medical stuff, or it'll just be that much worse when you eventually confront it. All right, so what am I going to do about these dots? Too many dots. So we can't just ask about the corner. Yeah, I don't think there's a way around it. Not that I can imagine. I think I have to, like, simulate the determination of the neighbors. So what would the neighbor care about? This is where I'm tempted to wrap this stuff in a function. Because then I can just call the function for like an adjacent tile. And I know that's a duplication of effort. Technically, it's a triplication of effort. But I don't totally see another way around this. They haven't offered you anything yet, but hopefully they'll give you some nice toys. Nothing else, at least a Cyberport to interface with machines earlier. Yeah, try to get like a Thunderbolt port. Shoulder mounted NES light gun. Now you're talking, Nanigans. Now you're talking. Yeah, okay. This might send us on a little diversion, unfortunately. Because what it's implying is that I actually need to separate these. And I actually need to do the same thing I did here, where we wrote these. I might just make variations of these for overlay. I guess I could test this first by just popping these in here, popping in the specific rules. Let's see. So it's this one. We're looking at this. What do I call this? I pass in a cutaway, I pass in a hall key, and I pass in maybe a mask. Or not a mask, that's something else. So what we want to do here, we can say this. So we've got not has edge negative y. We could say have not has edge negative y overlay. As an overlay variation. I don't love this, but it has advantages. Also, is this exactly what I'm checking? What I want to check is I want to check the positive y for, so private bool not has edge negative or positive y overlay. It still needs this cutaways thing. It needs a hull key. It does not need a hull type. I could theoretically get rid of this branch here. I kind of don't want to, but I could. Okay, so if we're looking for the positive edge overlay thing, what we're going to do, we need to add in to go up here. Well, hold on. We need to do a switch statement or switch expression or whatever. Return tile layers hull key.w switch. Is that how that's written? No. Switch. You can add all of the branches here. Add missing arms. Don't want to add the door. Don't want to add a null case either. Let's test this out to see if I hate this. So right now all we're interested in is this branch. So we want to say Y tile overlay. So this whole thing needs to be moved over here. Okay, we need the mask. Why don't we... Oh, because the mask is not an element in the other. So this is a IEnumerable vector 3i mask. What's the prob here? What does this mean? All right. Why is it complaining about this? We're enumerating this collection twice. How? Oh, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're right. We are kind of doing that, huh? We could... Should I force this into being a list? Right now, we don't currently force it to be a list, but we probably should. Let me see about making that happen. Well, we turn this into a list, but this we don't make it a list because it's a hash set. Kind of whack that it's a hash set now that I think about it, but could I just make this a list as well, just so we can say we're working on a list? Oh, if anything, I should do this once, huh? We should be like cursor bounds. There's probably better things we can do in the future with this, but I'm just getting it to work for now. Doesn't need to be perfect. Bad at making a username. How's it going? Who would win in a fight? One mega gamer or a super epic gamer? They both have controllers and they're fully charged. I don't know. I do not know. Butterscotch Shenanigans is making a game about those kinds of questions. They're making a game called How Many Dudes? Really hope howmanydudes.com takes me to that specific website. Yeah, they're making a game that asks the question, the fundamental question, how many dudes does it take? Wow, this is the formatting. It's probably my fault. It's probably my dark reader. It's making this insane. Oh no, this is just a horrible color they chose. Cool. Yeah, they made a jam game about it, I think for GMTK, and now they're developing like a full game based off of it. Wow. What a shade they chose for this. But this looks fun. I thought this would take me to a page for their game, but I mean it did, but I thought it would take me to a page for like the development of it, the jam version. But it's super funny. It's like, how many dudes does it take to beat up, you know, gorillas, wolves, dog-sized rats, toddlers? It's funny. It's a funny question. What game am I making? I'm making an isometric 2D take on FTL Faster Than Light. Cursor selection. I'm gonna say just list. I don't like all the allocating this is going to cause, but maybe we'll figure out a better way of doing this. It's really not that bad, though. 2 lists every frame just for the auto tile. Well, maybe even just 1 if we're not in edit state. But yeah, I think constraining this to a particular list is going to be good. I think passing around like this boxed interface thing would be bad in the long run. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to refactor these functions here. Let's find all the functions that say IEnumerable. Yeah, so this is going to become a list. How are there no references to this? What? I don't understand. Oh, it's an I collection, not an IEnumerable. Maybe it's actually fine that I left it as an I collection. Okay. Let's go back. We gotta go back. I don't know why I thought that was... I'm dumb. Here, let's undo what I did. Let's undo the things that I did here. I actually don't think this is a problem. Yeah, this should be an I collection. There we go. I think that's fine. It's a reference anyway. Dave in Dungeon. Oh my god. Delicious in Dungeon is amazing. I still haven't finished that show, but I love that show a lot. I'm not a big anime guy, but Delicious in Dungeon's amazing. You're making a game like that? Oh, like Dave the Diver. Like a dungeon-based Dave the Diver. That's great. That kind of also reminds me of what's the like dungeon crawler kind of take on something like that, but it's like Shopkeeper. It's like a Moon something. Moonlighter? Moonlighter. Wow, did they make a sequel to Moonlighter? Okay. Oh, it's out. Well, I'd probably play that on my Switch. I didn't like Moonlighter, actually, to be honest. Oh, they went 3D with it. Do not like. I like the idea of Moonlighter. In practice, I did not enjoy that game. But I really wanted to like it. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing here. So we're evaluating these. Yeah, that sounds really cool. Yeah, Malicious in Dungeon. Yeah, it's really funny. It's a really great show. Okay, so we are wrapping all of these in a function to make it easier to query how our neighbors would make a decision. So in the case that we need to make a decision based on the decision our neighbors are going to make, there's technically a way I could do it where like I could iterate through them in a particular order and guarantee that any neighbors you consider have already been processed, but in practice that's a horrible nightmare. So instead we're just going to, if necessary, emphasis on if necessary, we will do that same comparison ourselves if necessary. So we got this. We need one more of these. We need, just for testing purposes, we need one more of these. We need has edge negative X overlay. Private bool not has edge. Oh, hold on. Not has edge negative. No, that's correct. That's correct. I have some regrets phrasing this as a not rather than positive. I could invert these and probably get a positive, but I'd then invert it somewhere else, so I think this is fine. Not has edge negative X overlay. We need these. And then we need the eye collection vector 3i mask. Return tile.layers bulky switch. Fingers crossed you can get the Digital Iliad seal of approval someday. You already got it. Sounds like a great game. Alright. So we'll do the thing where we add all the arms. I'll switch these to a, well, not this one. Row, new, not implemented, exception. One. Overcooked is the best co-op game ever made after all. I don't know if I agree with that, but it is fun. Overcooked is fun. Time to refactor everything to invert it? No, we're not going to do that. Because I'm pretty sure I would just put an inversion in the conditional anyway. Or if I did that, I'd have to reverse everything. The problem is that the default texture presumes all outlines are on. Like the default index is like all outlines. And then what you do is you go through all your conditionals to figure out which outline to remove. So I would literally need to flip everything. I would need to be like, okay, now the default is no outline. And then what you do is you come up with all the conditions in which an outline should be added. That, admittedly, is probably easier, but it's also probably harder to instantly spot an error. I don't know. It's just different. It's like inverting a problem is one of the easiest ways to have a breakthrough if you're stuck on something, but we're not stuck on it, so there's no real reason to do that. Hey, Alex, did you miss anything? Not really. We've been making slow and steady progress on this stuff. All right, so this is the one I actually wanted to find because this is the neighbor that we're interested in for testing purposes. So I need to go get the negative X overlay rule for this overlay. I I said this one, bulk Y tile, not has negative X. Is it this one? These are the conditions I'm interested in. All right, so we've got this. I think we can now use this in our corner case check. Overcooked results in friendships ending. Marriage is crumbling. It's a force to be reckoned with. It's funny. Arneo, you can't say you don't agree without adding your own suggestions. Well, Brianna, joining your wife and you don't play that game anymore together. That's funny. Arneo, with your 3 brothers, we became a real family playing Overcooked. Oh, that's nice. Your parents were harder to add to the team, though. They kept using the controller joysticks one at a time. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Dual joystick is not a natural input interface. It is not. No one is born understanding how twin stick controls work. It's an important thing to keep in mind when making a 3D game. Thanks for the hydrate. I would be tempted to make a lot of qualifications to whatever I say in terms of what the best co-op games are. Because there's way different. You got Overcooked in one hand, and then you have like Valheim in another, right? Like they're totally different. So I would say you're talking about couch co-op, right? Which is like real-time, synchronous, usually in the same place. Doesn't have to be, can be played online, but like the best co-op game of the year is definitely Peak, which just came out relatively recently. It came out over the summer. Peak is this year's best co-op game for sure. All time, I don't know. That would be so hard. I'm very partial to Valheim, but again, that's something else. I would say that's on a different time scale than something like Overcooked. But yeah, I'm very much a fan of what's being called friend slop, which is like a new genre of like games that are made quickly and or cheaply, but lean on like the social dynamics of like people playing together to like really get a lot of the fun. These are games like Repo and Lethal Company and Peak and now RV There Yet. And there's a bunch of others. This genre is awesome. And I think it's making it hard to choose because there's so many fun, incredible co-op games now. But for like traditional couch co-op, I don't know. I'm rather partial to Stardew Valley, I think. That also might be kind of unfair because that's like a very powerful single player game. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm supposed to be swapping this out. So we're supposed to do all of this. And then we're supposed to also say, so if we get through all of this, then what we need to do is we need to say, and not has edge negative X overlay. We need to pass in cutaways. We need to pass in hull key minus vector 3i dot y x mask and not has edge positive y overlay cutaways hull key plus vector 3i. Oh no, this would be hull key with z equals hull key dot z plus 1, not bulk z. We want to look at bulk y. All right, this should work. This is more computation, but Honestly, we should probably, most of the time we'll get to this condition and we'll just early out. I don't exactly know how crazy combined conditionals here work, but I'm going to trust the compiler to like help me out here. I could nest it if I had to, but I'm not going to currently do that because it's easier for me to just represent it this way. Rhiannon Journey, Chained Together. Oh, Chained Together looked fun as a co-op game. But again, you couldn't play with people you care about. That's funny. That's why you play something, you know, lighter like Stardew Valley or something. That's probably GOAT for me. Cause that game is fun to play by yourself, but it's so much more fun to play with other people. But yeah, I don't know. For this year, like I'm tempted to say my game of the year is Peak, which is a co-op game. I am enjoying RV There Yet though. It's like Peak, but with like way more shenanigans. Whereas Peak is like kind of, I wouldn't say serious, but it has a stability and a consistency to it that like RV There Yet just throws totally out the window. I need more time with that one to make a decision. All right, let's see what I did. Hard crash, hard crash. Deck Y. Yes, sir. Not has negative edge, negative X over, negative X overlay. Deck Y. We should not be running into this. I guess so maybe this is all simultaneously executing. Let me see if I nest this a little more. So this should be a bulk Y. It's negative X edge and negative X overlay. We should be hitting this case. Whole key minus vector 3 dot X. Wait, where am I? I'm in a deck Y. Yeah, why are we... Oh, I reversed this. I'm a fool. This should be... Yeah, I reversed these. No problem. No problem. Sapphire, you played a good bit of Towerfall with your brother. Only ever played it with the two of you, though. Don't really have enough people to play anything more than just... It's not strictly co-op. There's a co-op mode in it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Towerfall is a good, like, single-screen, like, fighting game deal. That's fun. That game... I've never played the co-op, but I definitely played the like, deathmatch mode back in the day. Okay. Corners are still being weird. So hold on a second. Why are we seeing that now? All right, let's check the actual case that we had been looking at just to make sure we did something. I don't think we did anything, but make sure we did something. Oh, I think we fixed the case that we were trying to fix. Nope. Still there. Okay. Why? Why did that not work? Why did that not work? Oh, here's something we could do. So this. So we're like, we need to do this. Oh, here's the thing. Oh, are we doing a not? Not. This is why I didn't necessarily love the having it be a negative, is because if I need to not, that's not great. It's not great. That's not a refactor I want to do, though, so we're not going to do it. Arnie, you haven't played much that was released this year. You were going to buy Slay the Spire 2, but it was pushed. That'll be great when it comes out. I've been playing a lot of games this year. Okay, this is still busted. That's okay. Let's look at the actual case that we're looking at, though. Let's see what we're going. We definitely very much broke it for this, though, which is not great. Do I not understand what I was trying to do with this? I don't think so. Oh, you know, does this actually do what I think it does? They remade that in Godot. That's like my favorite part about Slay the Spire 2. It said it only took like a month to port it, which is pretty incredible. Yeah, I like Slay the Spire. I don't play a lot of the card games now, the deck builders, but that's a classic. I need to go get more water. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out.
What y'all think, but I think that's pretty.
All right, and we're back. All right, so this is right. Cutaways, whole key minus vector3i dot x. Yes. Whole key with z equals whole key dot z plus 1. W is tile dot layers dot bulk y. Okay, that's also correct. So if any one of these are false, oh, it's any one of these. I see. I think I see a bit of the problem. We're getting back towards my normal stream time length of like 3 hours. I'm doing my best to make sure I get up early and get my work done and stuff so that we can do this. That's a weird thing that happens right here. Boink. Badunk. Interesting. Something's got to be done about that. That's not my immediate concern, though. Okay, so this doesn't work, and this doesn't work because one of the conditions is failing. So I actually think what we've done here, we're over determining this. So like this, if we're using these other, if we're simulating the neighboring tiles, we actually don't need to make this check here in the middle. We can actually rely on just the neighboring tiles to tell us what's up. I think that's true. I think that's where we're running into problems. Let's see what we got. Okay, that's not great. That's also not great. Hey, hold on a second here. Oh, we're having a problem with the... Maybe we only need to check the tile below us. Maybe we don't actually need to check both. Maybe it's a mistake to try to check both. Let's try that instead. Because the determining... That's actually the determining factor. This isn't. This is incidental. And actually, I think that was causing us some problems. I think if we do this check, I think we're good. Or wait. Yeah, this check. This check. Let us see. Let us see. Okay, that's an improvement already. I really don't like what happens to the cutaway when you build right up against the edge. We need like I need something that prevents that from happening. Part of it is going to be the resizable buffer, which we have not implemented. All right, did I fix it? Nope. Okay. What? I genuinely thought that was going to work. Oh, this is a two-part check. So what we would want to do is we'd want to say and. So this all has to be true. This should be an or. This is parenthetical. So we say not hulls dot contains key. Hull key. XYZ. Hull key with W equals int tile.layers bulk Y. Because if there's no tile there, doing the edge check is meaningless. And actually would probably give us the wrong answer. So if there's no tile there, I'm not convinced, but this has to be a step in the right direction. Sapphire, are you just imagining the code laughing at me? Oh, it laughs at me. It laughs at me. It laughs all the way to the bank. Nix, who knew modeling a low poly engine would be so hard? You spent the last 1 hour trying to make one. It's not as easy as you thought. No, the lower fidelity that you have, the more important that like having like a readable form and everything is, I think. I think it's harder to define something sometimes when you've got below some bar of fidelity. Because if something's photorealistic, it's pretty easy to like make it look like something in the real world, right? I say easy in the sense of like you have something that you're aiming for, but as soon as you start to abstract it out, getting that same readability can be really hard. Hey, we fixed it. We fixed an incredibly, incredibly obscure corner case that is going to require a bunch of refactoring now to be consistent. That's fine. I did want to wrap the conditions into a function anyway. This is just forcing me to do it. But yeah, we got rid of those little dots, those little corner dots. So that's great. That is great. That's what we like to see. Just gonna get rid of this. This doesn't matter. Yeah, ship it.
Your logic was impeccable, Captain.
I think one could peck my logic a little bit. It took me quite some time to get there. So let's copy this over to the other side. That's going to involve
Most illogical.
function. I need to make the other versions of these functions. I need this one. Oh no, I already have this one. Which one are we actually using? This one? Okay. Getting closer to a functional autotiler. Look, our autotiler functions, okay? It's not perfect. But it functions. Return tile.layers, all key.w, switch. Those arms in there. This one's the one that I need. Minimalism is hard though, especially for something like an engine. Yeah. Yeah, the more technical the thing you're trying to make is, the harder that minimalism can be. That said, I feel like an engine block is a very recognizable thing, but still. Just give it a nice, as we say in the States, a nice V8 motor. V8 motor. Yeah, it does have some specific shapes as well. Otherwise, it's just way too abstract. Yeah. No, I'm sure. Fun fact, you did actually model a V8. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Why have anything else? I mean, unless you're going to have a V12. Or a W16. All right, what am I doing? I don't even know. I don't even remember. I think we're taking this. Deck Y tile overlay. This. So this should be replaceable with this, right? Well, let's do that in a second. What we should do here is we should say, grab this. Throw this in here. Minus X plus Y. Oopsie daisy. I guess I should do this. Although everywhere else I've been doing it like that. I don't know. I gotta pick an indenting format that I like for these big, long, conditional chains. Rihanna Journey, you need your vehicle to get 1 mile per gallon. It's what the founding fathers would have wanted. Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Everyone knows George Washington just loved, you know, driving around in his monster truck. Our Arneo. You're trying to remember that hand gesture they do in Mad Max Fury Road? I don't even remember. That's a good movie, though. It's probably worthy of a rewatch soon. I watched an old movie. I've been watching some old movies around Halloween. It really held up. I watched John Carpenter's The Thing. That's such a good film still. I feel like this is consistent with what I've been doing. This. Right. I gotta swap the sides though. So this should be bulk X. And this should be bulk X. And then I have an error here because I haven't implemented any of these yet. Let's just do that for now. I want to make sure that I've got both sides working before I switch to that. Posted a couple pics of the engine. You'll never be done with this dang car. I'll take a look. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oop. Immediately crashed. Ow. Oh, because I invoked this function. Right. Exactly. Right. I need to write this with a... Oh, I need to not do that. I need to say negative y. This function not implemented. Not has edge negative y overlay. Thought I just did that. Oh, not has edge negative y overlay. And then I need a bulk X implementation, which is just this one, but flipped. What's the problem here? Duplicated switch arms? I disagree. Oh, it's because of all the not implemented. Right. That should be fine. Gotta swap that. Alright, let's see what we got. Instant crash. Nope, good. Okay, we're gonna do the opposite of the previous test and make sure that the other side works the same way. Yep, all good. All good on this side as well. Oh, wait, no, not all good. Is that... Do we have a problem there, too? Ooh, not good there. Okay. There's an issue, maybe. It's probably with just this side, which I want to confirm before I start to panic. Okay, it's just that side. Oop, where is it? Nope. Okay. And then here. Oh, that part works, though. So that corner piece works for that side, but not the other side. But there is a bug. There is a bug. I saw it. I saw it for a second. It has to do with when you've just got an edge like this. It happens to both sides. So we got to fix that. There's always something. But yeah, there's a missing corner piece here. Why is that? I probably failed to flip everything correctly. Classic Dave here. not has edge negative y overlay. Not has edge negative y. Mask.contains minus y. All right, does the other version of this say the same thing? And by the same, I mean the opposite. Not has negative x minus x. Yeah, that's all good. So the problem is probably up here. So what does it look like here? D and not bulk y, and not has negative x overlay. Bulk y. Bulk x.
Maximum what?
These are identical, except for the indentation. Oh, but is this a different corner? No, it's the same corner. Maximum warp node Joel, how's it going? Godot Fest is just around the corner, huh? Oh yeah, it's next week, isn't it? Yeah, you're excited. Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm not going, but that's exciting. I'll be excited when the talks eventually come out. Okay, not has edge negative y. Ooh. This is still negative x. Right? Because we're talking about x and y in terms of the 2D environment. I should really make that more clear. Because it's very much not clear that that's what we're doing here. Yeah, so actually, it needs to be this, and I just implement it like this. Except we go along a different way. What's the, oh. Right. And then so this negative y overlay thing. Oh, wait, what? Not has negative x. Where's the not has negative y? Yeah, this is wrong. That's super wrong. That's not a thing. Okay, let's try it now. Some won't be online. I hope they did all the GodotCon ones, so I hope it'll be similar. But yeah, that'll be cool. That sounds really fun. Rhiannon Journey, you saw in the schedule, it says which ones are being filmed and which ones aren't. You didn't look in depth. It seems like the workshops are not being filmed, but the talks you were most interested in more. Oh yeah, I wouldn't expect all the workshops to be filmed. The GodotCon ones were. Okay, we've got a regression here. That's okay. Okay, we got that. I fixed that. I fixed the little dot there, but yeah, we have a problem there, which is weird. And we have a problem if we do something like this. Like this. Which is wrong. Yeah, they haven't announced the dates for GodotCon Boston, but as soon as they do, I'm gonna get all set up to go to that. That's gonna be. I really enjoyed the last one, especially because I don't think I'm going to GDC this year. I mean, I live in the city, so it's like I'll be down at Yerba Buena Park for some of the days, but maybe one of the days. But yeah, I'm not getting a ticket this year. What they've done is horrible. Not that it was a particularly great conference before, but okay, so we got to get rid of these little dots. I don't quite understand why these would show up. Because what we're doing is we're asking if there is... We should be asking if there is even a tile there. If there isn't, we shouldn't be considering that. So that's a little weird. I gotta move the rest of this logic into here, though, to be consistent. What did they do? Oh, you can look it up. The pricing, they're quote unquote rebranded it, but really all they did was just totally change the ticket pricing structure and kind of priced out all the indies. Which is fine. I don't think they were making any money from the indies, but I think they're going to find that if none of the indies show up, they're not going to have much of an event. They simultaneously rebranded it to be called the Festival of Gaming, which to me implies consumer-oriented. Lots of stuff going on. So from a name standpoint, they're making it sound more accessible and more oriented towards a consumer or a hobbyist or people just starting out, you know, people that are interested in the ecosystem. That's what they've said that they're doing in terms of the name. But what they're actually doing in terms of the pricing structure and everything is all they care about are like studio heads and directors and investors and publishers. They really only care about the big wigs, the people who run studios. Those are the only people they're really interested in courting. So, very weird. If they had just done one of those things, I think I would have understood. But the fact that they are pulling in separate directions, very strange what they've done to that event. But whatever. All the fun stuff has always been free, and it just kind of happens in the city. But now a lot of people are going to, a lot less people are going to travel. Well, for that and also for other reasons. But I don't know. I think the event is pretty much dead. I mean, it's not maybe dead in the sense of it. They'll keep doing it every year, but I think GDC as we know it is gone, which is fine. It's been many years since that event was at any kind of acceptable level of quality. I've been going there for a long time. Kind of seen it all. Yeah, it's a little rough, but hey, it frees up resources to do other things. Maybe instead, you know, I'm going to go to GodotCon. That's what I'm saving my money for. But maybe instead people will just go to PAX. They'll go to PAX Dev, if that's still a thing, which I think was like a dev-oriented conference before PAX West. So I don't know. Maybe it's probably a blessing in disguise. All right. So why is this happening? Why is this little corner dot thing presenting a problem in this particular circumstance? So this is our check here. Excuse me. All right, so we're still seeing a corner. We're still seeing a particular corner case problem. So this should be saving us. In not contains key. Deck X tile overlay. So if this is true and this isn't true, not hulls contains key, hull key with W. Oh, this is wrong. This needs to be Z equals hull key dot Z plus when. Easy. That's an easy mistake to make. Easy mistake to catch. We solved it. Let's do the flip side, which is this one. Z equals hull key dot Z plus 1. Let's see if we've banished that last little issue here. So we do this. We do like this. And then if we try to do this and extend it out past, great, fixed it. What about this other last one that I saw, which was weird, which was like, what was happening there? It was like this. Okay, that one's gone too. Great. Okay, cool. Slan bugs left and right. Very literally left and right. All right. More improvements, more improvements. It's looking more natural every day. What I gotta do now is I gotta refactor. I gotta finish wrapping that functionality. That's not really a refactor. I mean, it is, but we're gonna finish wrapping those functions. I don't like this song. I do like this song, although this one plays too often. You gotta go. No worries. Take it easy, Sapphire. I'll probably be going here soon too. I don't think we're gonna quite hit a 3-hour stream today. I am trying to make sure I get on early enough and stay on late enough to get my 3 hours in. I've been struggling with waking up early enough to get my work done in time, but I'm doing better now that daylight savings time has ended. It's helping a little more waking up early. All right, so what should we do? What should we do? We should wrap this functionality, huh? Okay. You can do this one easily. You're gonna head out late night. No worries. Thanks for hanging out. Did shenanigans. Yeah, we'll be here. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here Saturday. Probably just working Saturday. Thanks for the hydrate, Nix. The hydrates are just as much of a reminder to you as to me. Yeah. Or to me as to you. Yeah. I appreciate that. All right, so we got to finish wrapping these. I might just do that tomorrow, because we'll need to test all of that pretty thoroughly, and I don't think I have time to do that, to wrap them and test them. I think we'll probably prepare a raid out. I think we're going to raid Hypnotic. I don't think I've done that. They raid me a lot, which might mean they're almost done, but you know, I think we're gonna go for it. Let's set that up during our outro here. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully for the full 3 hours or close to it. I would like to finish a lot of these edge and corner case checks this week. We'll see how realistic that is, but I think we're looking okay. We've so far been able to mostly ignore the corners, so as long as that continues to be the case, I think we'll be fine. But yeah, this has been fun. It's always fun. The ratings are gonna, for the last game jam we did, we'll post on Saturday at noon, which is before I go live. So I think we'll take a look at that, and I think I'll publish the post-jam version of the Grave Escape at that time. I've got it ready. I've got it pretty much ready. I just need to set up the jam pack, which I'll do tonight, I guess. Yeah, got some exciting stuff coming in that. We've got a keyboard and joystick controls in the Grave Escape now. When I publish that, that'll be great, so you don't have to click around. The click around will still work, though. Visible progress is the best progress. That is true, Arneo. That's what you need to stay motivated. If you're feeling a dip in motivation, try to do something. Try to work on something with visible progress. Anyway, we're raiding out now. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.